It's a beautiful bacon day, Cookie Crusaders. Today I want to talk to you guys about the summoner team that I'm personally using and who I want to get better, but I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment. So the team is Cotton, Pumpkin Pie, Oyster Cookie, Crunchy Chip, and Pure Vanilla, using the Scroll, the Pincushion, and the Jelly Watch. The biggest reasons here for this setup and the way it is that the Jelly Watch specifically aids Oyster Cookie in the minions that she can summon, because the higher the cooldown and the higher the cooldown adjustments from the Jelly Watch as well adjust how much minions can actually come out, with a maximum being 4. Now the Pincushion, of course, only benefits the other 4 cookies. It does not benefit Pure Vanilla. But here's the real fun and the real synergy. Pure Vanilla gives shields. And yes, Dark Cacao is the counter to that, as well as Twizzly, and even Affogato can take off 1 shield. But the Oyster minions that summon have an extra defense in accordance to their shields. So if a shield is taken off by Dark Cacao, then they're just minions. They don't have good defense at that point, they're just attackers. And that's fine. But if they have a shield removed, or at least extended, thanks to Pure Vanilla, either way, because the new shields will replace old ones, then at that point, that means longer defensive structure from the Oyster minions, as well as their attack continuing, because they should survive then that point until the next activation, since the skill does not get changed of speed for Oyster Cookie for the cooldown, and it remains at a solid pace. So, toppings real quick. And these are something I want to get better, and I'll explain that in a moment too. I have apple jellies running on Crunchy Chip Cookie, and I want 30% damage resist with the max 69% critical and a attack of 15%. That is the overall goal. As you can see, right now I just have really good crit percent. Not much of anything else, truly. So that would be the most powerful and most effective version of Crunchy Chip that I could personally produce for this team. So we'll get there, but we're not there yet. Pumpkin Pie. I only have 32.2% damage resist. I would like to have 51%, of course, the max. Obviously everyone would, but I'm explaining the top level so that you can see how far I am from it and how it's still working very well in this team comp. I would like an attack of 15%, and I would like either HP or defense being the 15% as well, since those all translate to Pumpkin Pie. Next, Oyster Cookie. To specifically get the use out of the minions completely, cooldown is the main focus. So 25% cooldown is the max you can go. Here, as you can see, I invested everything I could to get as high and as close to that as possible. I do still need damage resistance, and I'm on a tear between attack or amplify buff for Oyster. Now you're probably thinking, what, amplify buff? Why? Well, on a team like this specifically, the benefits that are given from Cotton and the healing that comes from Cotton and Pure Vanilla would be even greater on Oyster to make sure that she stays alive even further. So it's something I'm thinking of and considering, but I would not necessarily be upset with attack percentage as a substat of 15%, because that means just even more powerful Oyster minions. So we'll see how it plays out. Cotton, same thing. High cooldown. I don't even have this completely maxed out, and I have basically no damage resistance on Cotton and a decent amount of attack of 5.3%. So there's a lot of room to grow there too. And then, most shockingly enough, Pure Vanilla. Pure Vanilla has a 22.8% cooldown and 0% damage resist. So here, I can raise cooldown just a little bit more. I need damage resistance for Pure Vanilla to have even longer survival capabilities, even longer chances to do what Pure Vanilla does best. And attack, I have no percentage in to raise the healing power either. So we can run it technically with this, where we have good damage resistance and we have some attack. That is an option, but we're going to run it with cooldown. And I'll run both just to show you. So we're going to go ahead and fight some people in the arena. I'm going to pick people that are higher of rank just to showcase what the battles are like and what you can expect from this team. Because remember, this team can elevate even higher. I'm just showing you the version that I have it at, which means it can only get better, and you can already see how high I am in the rankings as it is just because of the kingdom upgrades I have, the lab upgrades and everything. But those are not really playing into why this team is working. They're just playing into why I have that rank. And as you can see, the team is healing spectacularly. I do normally lose Crunchy pretty quickly, and honestly, I even lose Pumpkin Pie and Oyster often, but the amount of units on the field is usually so great that it normally doesn't make a huge difference. So in this case, let's see where they had the best thing on their team. So their thing was a combination of Clotted and Wildberry. If they didn't have one of those present, we would have taken that battle. 100%. Because our healing, we had way more healing than they had. We outpaced them by almost 3 million on the healing scale. So it is very likely that we could have taken them down. But for the sake that they had Wildberry and Clotted, they just had the advantage there. And that's okay. I need you guys to see that. I need you to see at the same levels what's happening. So that's probably going to be the exact same team, except no herb. So we'll give it a try. This could be a summoner team, actually. And if it is, we should take it. Okay, it's not a summoner team. It's a sorbet team. So it's a tank killing team. We still have good chances here because we don't really have tank focus that they have to worry about. So their sorbet is really just hitting our creatures, which we have heavily defended. And we're going to just start pushing through their entire lineup, especially with pure vanilla shields activating on not only our cookies, but all of our creatures too. And as you can see, their entire lineup gone. And so it works. It does it. It does what it needs to do. And here's the stats. Crunchy, Pumpkin Pie, Oyster, hitting highest bird damages. They had Wildberry and Clotted this time, but they didn't have Herb. Herb would remove the debuff from Pumpkin Pie, remove the debuff from Crunchy Chip, remove any of the stuns. So there's a huge reason why Herb made a difference in that other team, where even though they had Clotted and Wildberry in this team, we still overpowered them. So we're going to keep going through, and you can see like these lower teams with lower treasures, we just are going to absolutely decimate them. So even though it's a T-Knight team running, what you would assume to be a pretty strong setup, we're just going to out-heal and out-damage, and T-Knight cannot keep up with the mass amount of creatures at this point. And they're all healing. The minions, they've got the shields. Pom-Pom has all the damage. And right here, since it is a lower team, since there wasn't a long fight, Oyster actually takes the damage crown. So you can see T-Knight, 10 million damage from T-Knight because there were so many creatures that T-Knight's swing was hitting so many targets. And that's why T-Knight did 10 million damage there. Makes sense. We've just given so many targets to hit. But Oyster, since it's a short fight, Oyster did a huge amount of damage there immediately. And that's what's Oyster's really doing, is just it's less a burst damage almost. And so I'm considering Oyster for a scam team too because of the 2-second cooldown. I think it actually might work. I'm not going to test it on this one because this one is a summoner team focus and showcasing why pure vanilla works synergistically well with Oyster. And that's why I have pure vanilla back, because I was trying parfait, I was trying pomegranate. They were working, but what really was mattering more than anything was pure vanilla putting those shields on all of our creatures and on the minions from Oyster, because they get extra defense for that reason. And it's a dual pairing there. Oyster gives critical damage increase and gives critical percent increase, so therefore making our Crunchy Chip stronger and making our heal stronger. That's why we are way out healing everybody else, because yes, we're taking a lot of damage, but we're able to heal massive amounts very, very quickly because of those increased healing critical percentages. And so here we go. We're fighting a higher level team. They are running Oyster, so this is a really interesting comparison because this is the first Oyster I've fought today, but they're also running Sorbet. So they're not running a healer, they're running more of a tank shredding. So this should be a good test to see which can come out, another healer or another DPS damaging unit. And so far as you can see, the healer actually takes the win. So even though Sorbet is a good tank killing unit, and I've seen other people try to run that, honestly, this team did better. So we did more damage, we did more healing by a lot. It just made the difference. Even though they have a DPS unit that does huge damage to front lines, Sorbet really didn't get to perform there. So this is why this is my recommendation for this team and how it's built and how it can work. And I'm using it to climb the last bits of arena before the reset. So I would recommend, if you get a chance, building this team. If you can't, it's understandable, but it is a fun team, especially if you like summoner comps. But of course, I would still love your feedback. Maybe you've personally experimented with something that you like a little bit better. But this is honestly the team that I found that brings pure vanilla back. Actually, truly brings pure vanilla back to the arena battle. And I love it. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful day.